The release of a mainline Zelda game is always a big deal. These events are few and far between, which make them all the more special. 2017's Breath of the Wild is definitely a hard title to follow. Critically praised across the board, the game turned the traditional Zelda model on its head and showed what a true Nintendo-developed open-world game could look like. And in 2023, Nintendo has followed up this previously established formula and somehow managed to exceed all expectations. Let's get into it. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Sound off in the comments down below, and we may read it out on our bi-weekly show called the Famicast. Today, though, we're diving into The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in this review. As I'm sure most of you are well aware, Tears of the Kingdom picks up pretty much from where Breath of the Wild ended. The game starts with Link accompanying Zelda on a long, dark trek below Hyrule Castle. After coming across a creepy, mummified version of Ganondorf, Zelda goes missing and Link loses his arm. Now, of course, shortly afterwards, you're given a new arm and your journey begins. Hyrule is in chaos. Floating islands have appeared everywhere and deep chasms have opened up in the ground. The people of Hyrule are worried about their missing princess and cunning swordsman. Now, I know there are some people out there who follow Zelda lore and the series' complicated timeline, all that type of stuff. Now, while there are definitely some interesting aspects to this, it could be said that the story here is usually one of the weaker points of the game. That's not saying things in Tears of the Kingdom or in other games in the series are bad by any stretch of the imagination, don't get me wrong. And there actually are some pretty awesome elements and some shocking story beats that are here. Still, the story here plays second fiddle to the gameplay and the overall established world. Tears of the Kingdom does not stray too far away from the gameplay mechanics that were established in Breath of the Wild. You're still going to be dealing with breakable weapons, the stamina gauge, and other nuances that were found in the previous game. Now, if you're fine with that, you likely won't have a problem with the base gameplay in Tears. Now, although it has been a long time since I played Breath of the Wild, I was able to pick things up pretty easily here and get back into the groove of things pretty quickly. Tears of the Kingdom starts players out on a brand new part of Hyrule, the Sky Islands. Now, while this is small in comparison to the other areas of the game, it serves as a good starting point to get players acquainted with the game. Some may feel that this area might drag on for a little bit too long, but I didn't really feel that it outstayed its welcome. In this introductory section of the game, you learn about your new abilities, you get the hang of combat, and you figure out the general capabilities of Link. It really serves as an extended trial area before you descend to Hyrule to truly start your adventure. And speaking of new abilities, Link does receive a handful of these very early on in the game via his new arm. Now, at this point, you probably know what's on offer here, but for a quick, just very brief breakdown, the following are available: Ultra Hand, Fuse, Ascend, Recall, and there's another one that's a little bit deeper into the game. Just in case you haven't played it, I won't say anything about that. If you really want to find out about it, you can probably do that. But anyways, like, these all have their uses and come in handy quite often throughout the adventure. I can't really think of one of these that I found useless or something like that. They all have their uses. Now, Tears does introduce a new mechanic that wasn't found in any of the previous entries into the series: building. Now, before actually starting up the game, I'll be honest, I really had my doubts with this. The trailers didn't really sell me on the world, and this whole new mechanic just seemed like something I would not be interested in. Now, with the building aspect, I just figured I usually don't have the headspace for this kind of thing, so this whole aspect of the game would be completely lost on me. You know, I'm still definitely not the most creative person when it comes to this aspect of the game. However, I did find that the building mechanics were actually pretty fun and pretty easy to get used to. Now, these are often mandatory in shrines, a little bit more on that here later, as they play a role basically teaching you the possibilities of this power. I enjoyed these quite a bit more than the more free-form building aspects, just because you kind of had a little bit more direction. Now, regardless, when you figure out a clever build or something like that, the game makes you feel like you're some kind of secret genius, which is pretty satisfying. As with Breath of the Wild, the shrines in Tears of the Kingdom are often a great way to learn the ins and outs of these new abilities. Now, given that the game just kind of thrusts you into the world, these are pretty beneficial to track down for that purpose, as well as for the extra stamina wheels or heart pieces that you can receive. Now, these typically aren't overly long either, and rarely outstay their welcome. Now, on a somewhat similar note, there are some more advanced, long-form type of temples that have made their way into Tears 2. These take quite a bit more time to complete and tie directly into the story. Now, once you add on the general exploration of Hyrule and the Sky Islands and the depths, and like all that type of stuff, there really are tons of places to visit in Hyrule and a lot of Hylians to save. Additional buddy characters in the form of sages are a new element when it comes to gameplay for Tears. Now these NPCs do quite a bit to assist Link on his journey to fight Princess Zelda and everything else in between. Each of these characters can help out Link in battle or while exploring. Nintendo didn't have to add this in as an option, however the added firepower and the ability to reach new areas here is really great. Now, not only this, but this is another element of the game that ties directly to the story, which I found to be a nice touch. Now, all of these new abilities set Tears of the Kingdom apart from its predecessor. Building might take some getting used to, and it might not be for everyone, but I think what's on offer with that is pretty fun. Now, when it boils down to it, the world, challenge, and sense of wonder keep luring you in, making you want to just keep going. It's a real testament to the game's design and a continuation of basically what Nintendo started with Breath of the Wild back in 2017. As with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom is not without a few technical issues. There are times when the game does suffer from some frame rate issues in particularly busy parts of the game world. Now while it is a little bit disappointing, I really didn't think this took too much away from my experience in the game, so that wasn't a huge deal for me. You know, Hyrule here is definitely familiar, but several additions here, such as the depths, the Sky Islands, and stuff like that, they made this iteration of the world feel fresh. Despite these sporadic hiccups, the world crafted in Tears of the Kingdom is absolutely amazing. While it might not be as populated as other open world games, there's always something in your line of view, something that you just want to go out and see. Locations here feel very believable, and they're really varied here too. The difference between the Sky Islands, Hyrule, and the depths also give the game a bit of a different feel, making things feel fresh even if you've explored this iteration of Hyrule for dozens and dozens of hours in Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom follows up on the foundation built by Breath of the Wild, literally, and expands upon it with great success. The new gameplay mechanics are fresh and bring a new sense of adventure into a world that many have already spent dozens to hundreds of hours in. The addition of the Sky Islands and the depths also expand the world even further to bring more fresh places to explore. Now for some, the occasional performance issues and somewhat weak story might disappoint, but the world and gameplay more than make up for that. You owe it to yourself to play this game. As always, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop this video a like. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We've got tons of podcasts, video reviews, looks at Japanese games and events, and so much more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.